Okay, let's continue talking about extra report in this introduction training about the DevExpress extra report. So, as you see, we were talking about this bundle report. Uh, I think it was very clear these things about this band. And now we're gonna talk about the designers. You can have end user designing, so the users can make these reports by their own. So you can put in your application or a standalone report so they can use it. So let me show you something about this. I go to this Visual Studio project, sorry, solution that is gonna be in the GitHub very soon. So in this solution, we have a project about this testing that we are doing here. Another project is about report designing desktop. How we can make this report design desktop? We just have to create an NP form from DevExpress, add a new form here, add in the project, add a DevExpress item, new form, and then in this new form, what we can do, we just have to go to the toolbox. In the toolbox, we look for the designer. Let me show you here. This take a little time because I have a lot of DevExpress person. So we're gonna look here the design. Okay, we have here the designer. We have report designing. I'm using 21.1, so I need this one. I just drag and drop this design in my form, and then if you see the report, the designer is gonna create the everything that I need. Okay, it's just creating the interface. If you remember in this Visual Studio integration, we have this design, explorer, and everything. Okay, and now here I'm gonna convert this form to a ribbon form, so we can just have this in this way. This designer is almost the same as we have in Visual Studio, but it's with some more easy ways, because it's for a user, like they say, it's for a user. And in the other side, we have this web designer. In this moment that we are record this video, DevExpress have sent a lot of information about new days of the reports. One day is this, that I'm crazy waiting for this, because in this new design for the web, we're gonna have almost all the same we have in desktop version, so we can do a lot of things, and now the design is not so easy. I'm gonna show you immediately. Okay, perfect. So let me run this, and you can see the designer. We have see the designer in Visual Studio. We're gonna make a little resume about this, but in Visual Studio, you know that the designer is integrated with the environment, so we can use this designer inside our project and make the reports without go out to Visual Studio. But here, if you see, if you want a user have a designer, you can make by your own. It's easy to do. So if I want to make a report, I just have to take new reports. I just have to, if you see, I have everything report bands. Remember, report band, vertical and horizontal band. I have here my toolbox. You see, with all information here. I have the report explorer, field explorer, and grouping, sorting, properties, everything. So the user can do anything here that you can do in Visual Studio, anything. See the reports, what is going on in the report. So you can have everything that we have over there. Let me do some try here with the user, the wizard. So it's just let me do a table report quickly with the database. No, I will not show the database. Okay, here I'm gonna use my username and password, and in the local computer. So I will take this Adventure Works, that is the database that we're gonna use for all samples. And here I'm gonna use something. Let me select quickly some. Okay, country, region, and maybe some contact contact person. Okay, finish. Next, I'm gonna use some information, the name here, and the contact. From the contact, I'm gonna use first name, middle name, just that. Okay, and then I can use here, if I want to group something, I can group in, but I don't want to group. This is the page. We're gonna see a lot of things about the formatting pages, the margin, the orientation, and anything. So I'm gonna use this blue jeans blue. I like it so much, and we can have a title. I'm gonna put here contact. So here we are. So this just create a report for me, put some information. I don't wanna do a lot of things about this because I just want to show you that the user can have this their own report design. You see, and they can do a lot of things. Property change this and put a in other side bold, can use you know change font and anything they want, and they have a lot of things about this designer that is good to use. Okay, so this is the first designer. Let me save this. If I save the report, I can save like a standalone file, so I can open again if I wanted, but I don't want to save now. Okay, perfect. This is the standalone designer in the desktop. In the web, let me show you quickly this in the web. This standalone designer in the web, if you see what I show you a moment ago in the DevExpress homepage, it's gonna be changed. But now we have one. I want to show you what looks like. But I create a project from the Express template. So I have here my designer, and I have here my report viewer. Okay. So if you see, it's easy to have this own designer in the desktop, in the web. In the web, you can have in web form, you can have in MVC, Core, Blazor, and if you see you can use this designer for the people that are using your software. So it's easy, they can create their own reports and they can do anything. If you see, now this is the report designer from the web. In this right side, you have properties, you have formatting and function, you have database selection. If you see, you can see what the database you select, what parameters are in the report that we're gonna use in the next chapter. And you can have here the report explorer. If you compare with the other version, you know that it's not so easy because you have a lot of a lot of things in the report designer in the desktop and in Visual Studio that here is not that is okay. We have here the toolbox. Here we can save and make some say as localization and anything. Okay, here we have the preview, so we can preview this report in the web. The report is creating now. Okay, if you see, we can do zoom, export, print, make. If we have multiple page, we can see multiple page here. So it's very good. It's, if you see, we have a lot of format that we can export. We can make setting before export, and we can go back to the designer and we can make change like we do over there. If you see, we have property here. We can search. We can just say, okay, the format or something, and we can do almost the same here. If you see, they look everything that I have. I can change maybe the color. I can, if you see, I can do a lot of things here. So is a little different from the desktop, but no so. And you see, the Express is making so familiar this one. I love this new designer, so you're gonna have in the next month. Okay, so go back to our list. Then we know that we have end user designer. This report is a independent platform because we can in the web we can see this in a Mac computer, Linux, anything. So and now with Blazor and other technology we can run natively in this platform. And finally, this Visual Studio integration, you remember that we have here in the Visual Studio. We can close this. Okay, if you go back here, you remember this report bands. This is the Visual Studio integration. When I create a report here, we have a new menu and we have this. If you see, if you remember the other side, we have Report Explorer, Group and Sorting. If you see here, down here, we have Group and Sorting. We can have the preview window. You remember this preview window. We can have a script that we're gonna talk about this script in other in, later in this course. And we go to the design. If you see, if I select something, I can have this property window, the same that Visual Studio used for forms and for web and for anything. I can use for my reports, and here I can change anything. If I have here this font, I just can say bold, bigger, and anything I can change from here. Color, I can change another thing, all the things that I have here. So Visual Studio integration is very good, very easy. I like it a lot, and this report designer for the web is gonna be like this. You have the settings here. You can just change unit measures to the reports. You can the script language. You can change from C# to JavaScript or to Visual Basic. So you can customize this as you want. And all the time you have a in the report this kind of button that the property most user are here, and you don't have to go to the properties window and and do anything outside. So now we have that this reported system is a band reporting. Uh, we know now that we have an end user designer in desktop and in the web in different. We know that is report independent because we can see these reports in any platform, web, Mac, Linux, anything. And the Visual Studio integration is very cool, very easy to use, and we have a lot of customization over there. Then we're gonna continue with the next chapter. In this chapter, I just want to say to you that the sample database that we're gonna use is AdventureWorks. Here you have the links to download the database. You just have to download and in SQL Server you just have to restore this database. They have in this page they have a script. Let me show you. They have the scripts. They have anything. So you can just download the script, download the database. You see, you should have to download the database, download the script. They have here for SQL Server in your computer or Azure database. So if you see, they have from 2019, 2017, 16, any version you have. So you can just download from here, and you're gonna have anything that we have. The other thing that I want to say to you is that the Visual Studio project that we are using here is one, and anything that we're gonna add to this project, you're gonna have in GitHub repository that you can download over there. Okay, so we can continue with the next chapter.